Om Sri Gurubhyo Namaha. Hare Guruvayurappa Saranam. We are into Dasaka 77 of Narayaneeyam, which is Upasloka Utpatti, Jarasandha fight, and others. Srimad Bhagavatam, Dashamam, chapters 48 to 51 are the basis of this Dasaka of Narayaneeyam. As has been seen in the earlier Dasaka 76, Uddhava met Gopikas at Gokulam and witnessed the devotion of Gopikas and was overwhelmed by joy and returned to Mathura. Thereafter, Krishna and Uddhava went to the house of Sairandri, that is, the lady whom Bhagavan straightened from her hunchback and made Bhuvana Sundari. This lady who was long been waiting to receive Krishna every day in expectation. Her wish was fulfilled and Bhagavan blessed her with a son who later became famous as Upasloka, having learned Sattvan Tantra from Narada Muni. Asti and Prapti, the two bereaved wives of Kamsa, now departed in tears to their father, the mighty king of Magadha, Jarasandha. The king was furious and swore he would exterminate the Yadus. He collected a mighty army of 18 Akshoganis, consisting of elephants, horses, chariots, and infantry, and laid siege to Mathura. Krishna and Balrama came out with a small army. A divine chariot now appeared with charioteer and divine weapons. Krishna said, "Dear brother, you please go and destroy the army and I shall tackle Jarasandha." A fierce battle ensued. Jarasandha was bound hands and feet by powerful Balrama, but Krishna let him free, saying, "Let him go, brother. He will soon collect another army and return. This will serve our purpose of ridding the earth of Asuric forces." And he was let free. But smarting under defeat and prodded by Maharshi Sri Narada, he returned with a bigger army, which too was destroyed with ease. This went on 17 times. Now he came on for the 18th time in alliance with Yavana king and his countless hordes of wild Yavanas from the north. The citizens of Mathura were now really panic stricken. The two divine brothers now took counsel. Krishna said, "Brother, you please hold the enemy in check. I shall safely take all our people to an island fortress named Dwaraka." And turning to the people, Krishna said, "My dear people, close your eyes tight and open them only when I tell you." A few minutes later, Krishna's voice rang out, "Now open." Krishna had ordered Vishwakarma to build a model city by the sea, and the citizens of Mathura now found themselves in the broad streets of a splendid city. It was ideally laid out with broad streets and storied mansions and squares with fountains. Vishwakarma had shown all his skill to please his master Krishna. Though a savage, this Yavana was a sport. "You are unarmed, Krishna, so I too will fight you unarmed." So saying, he pursued Krishna, who apparently fled before him, shouting, "You should not run from an enemy." Thus Krishna led him and then suddenly entered a cave. An ancient man with a long beard and a radiant appearance was stretched in deep slumber, and Krishna hid beside him. The Yavana too, coming in hot pursuit, entered and observed the sleeper. "So you have entered the cave and now pretend to sleep." So saying, he kicked the sleeper, who slowly opened his eyes. His gaze fell upon this intruder, and his eyes blazed. There was a flash, and the Yavana went up in flames. The sleeping old man was the Emperor Muchukunda, son of the great king Mandada of Ishwagu family. Like his father, he was also a valiant soldier whose help was sought by the Devas in their fight against the Asuras. He had to stay with Indra, Lord of Heaven, for a long time. When the Devas got Lord Subramanya as their commander, they allowed Muchukunda to return to his kingdom, loading him with precious presents and granting any boon he might desire. But by that time, all his relatives were dead and gone, and so Muchukunda said, I have no desire except to sleep. And Indra blessed him, say, let it be so, sleep soundly, and whosoever disturbs and wakes you up shall be burnt to death. And Muchukunda was sleeping soundly until the Yavana rudely kicked him now and was burnt to ashes. Muchukunda now looked more closely at his radiant visitor. Seeing his glorious face and forearms with the discus, conch, lotus, and mace, he wondered, are you Indra or Varuna or any other guardian of the world? What is your name, Lord? And Krishna replied, I have countless names and births. I have been born now as Vasudeva. Have now come to bless you and grant your wishes. As you have prayed for these in previous birth, no one who comes to me goes empty hand. So Muchukunda replied, Bhagavan, I renounce all boons and want only thee, the essence of all consciousness. And Krishna said, Great Emperor, your mind is pure. You are firm as a rock now. Stay here a little more to work out your karma. In your next birth, you will be a pious Brahmin and attain me finally. Muchukunda, having no further desire, entered Badrikasrama and built an ashrama for himself near Narayana Ashramam, and after severe tapas, entered his next birth. Krishna, too, with Balarama, destroyed the Yavana armies and faced the Magadhan army. Then, instead of facing Jarasandha, pretended to run and entered the forest. Jarasandha surrounded the forest and set it on fire. Krishna was seen leaping onto rock, from where he took another leap and landed in Dwaraka. Jarasandha thought his enemy was burnt to death and returned to his capital, greatly rejoicing. These are the contents of this Dasaga 77, and you will listen to the slokas now. सैरन्द्र्यास्तदनुचिरं स्मराधुरायाः यादो भूः सललितमुद्धवेन सार्धम् आवासं तद्भगमोत्सवं सदैव ध्यायन्त्याः प्रतिदिनवाससज्जिगायाः. Though went well adorned with Uddhava to the house of Sairandri, the female attendant who had offered chandanam and perfumes, and was long stricken with love for thee. She was thinking of thee every day and adorned herself and decorated her house every day in the expectation of the festive event of meeting thee. Ubagade tvayi purna manoratham pramada sambramakam Kambrapayodharam vividamananamadhadadim mudarahasitam ramayanja krishe sukham. At thy arrival, all her wishes were fulfilled, and she joyfully honored thee with various offerings with excitement, though happily delighted her. पृष्टावरं पुनरसौ अवृणोद्वरागी भूयस्त्वया सुरदमेव निशान्दरेषु सायुज्यमस्ति दिवदेल् बुध एव कामं सामीप्यमस्त्वनिशमित्य विना ब्रवील् किम्. When she was asked by thee as to what boon she wanted, the stupid woman prayed that she may get to enjoy in the same manner with thee. Indeed, only an enlightened person will ask for sayujya, that is, becoming one with thee, liberation. But at least she could have asked for samipya, that is, being always close to thee. How come she did not ask for even that? तदो भवान् देव निशासुकासु जिल्मृगीदृशं तां नृदं विनोदयन् अदादुपश्लोक इति श्रुतं सुदं स नारदाल् सात्वतन्त्रविभवो. O Lord, subsequently, thou delighted her and gave her a son who came to be well known as Upasloka. He learned the knowledge of Satvat Tantra from Narada and shown as an exponent thereof. अक्रूरमन्दिरमिथोत्थफलोत्थवाभ्याम् अभ्यर्चितो बहुनुदो मुदितेन तेन एनं विसृज्य विपिनागतपाण्डवेय वृत्तं विवेधित तथा धृतराष्ट्रचेष्टाम्. Though went with Balrama and Uddhava to Akrura's house, Akrura received thee with high honors and worshipped thee with hymns. Though sent away Akrura to gather the news of Pandavas who had returned from the forest and also the news about Dhritarashtra's doings. विखादाजामादुः परमसुहृदो भोजनृपतेः जरासन्धेरुन्दत्यनवधिरुषान्धेत मधुरां तदाद्यैर्दुर्लब्धैः कतिपयबलस्त्वं बलयुतः त्रयोविंशत्यक्षौ गिणितदुपनीतं समकृताः. Jarasandha was blinded with rage when his friend and son-in-law Kamsa was killed. He besieged Mathura along with Balrama and a few soldiers. Chariot and charioteer called from heaven, though destroyed his army of 23 Akshaugni brought by him. बद्धं बलाददबलेन बलोत्तरं त्वं भूयो बलोद्यमरसेन मुमोचितैनं निःशेषदिग्जयसमाकृतविश्वसैन्य कोऽन्यस्तदो हि बलपौरुषवांस्तदानीम्. Jarasandha of extraordinary strength was forcefully tied up by Balrama. Though wanted him to come back with an army, so they released him. At that time, there was no one more powerful than him for having conquered all the kings in all the directions and who commandeered their armies. भग्नस्स लग्नकृतयोऽपि नृपै प्रणुन्नो युद्धं त्वया व्यथित षोडशकृत्व एवम् अक्षौहिणी शिवशिवास्य जगन्धविष्णो सम्भूय सैगन्नवदित्रिशतं तदानीम्. He was broken-hearted and humiliated by defeat in the battle. He attacked thee 16 times, prompted by the smaller kings. Hare Vishnu, you destroyed 391 of his Akshaughni armies altogether. What a wonder! अष्टादशेस्य समरे समुपेयुषि त्वं दृष्ट्वा पुरोध यवनं यवनत्रिकोट्या त्वष्ट्राविदाप्य पुरमाशु पयोधि मध्ये तत्रादयोगबलदस्वजनाननैषीः. The 18th attack by Jarasandha was imminent, and though saw the Yavana king in the front with 3 crore Yavanas, though soon got a city built in the middle of the sea by Vishwakarma and had thy people transferred there by your yogic power. To Padvyam tvam Batmamali Chagida iva pural Nirgado Dhamamano Mlecheshena Nuyado Vada Sukrita Vihinena Shaile Nyalaishihi Suptena Ankriyahadena Drudamatha Mochukundena Bhaksmi Gridesminne Bhubhayasmai Grihanda Sulalida Vabusha Tastishe Bhakti Bhaje. Adorned with a lotus garland, though ran from the city on foot, pretending fright and surprise. The Yavana king, who was devoid of any meritorious deed, in order to be blessed by being killed by thee, pursued thee, though then led him into the cave of a mountain where King Muchukunda lay asleep. Mistaking the king for thee, the Yavana kicked him and was instantly reduced to ashes by the angry look of the king. Though then manifested thyself in a charming form for the benefit of the devout king Muchukunda. एष्वागोऽहं विरक्तोऽस्म्यखिल नृपसुखे त्वत्प्रसादैककाङ्क्षी हा देवेदिस्तुवन्दं वरविततिश्रुतं निःस्पृहं वीक्ष्य हृष्यन् मुक्ते तुल्याञ्च भक्तिं दुदसकलमलां मोक्षमप्याशु दत्त्वा कार्यं हिंसाविशुद्ध्यै तव इति च तदा प्रार्थलोकप्रदीत्यै. I am the Ishwaga dynasty king, O Lord. I am dispassionate towards many royal pleasures. My only desire is for thy grace. Thus he said, praising thee, though were greatly gladdened to see that the king did not seek any of the multitude of boons, though conferred on him bhakti, which is as good as equal to mukti, that is liberation, though also conferred on him liberation which washes off all sins. Yet, to be an example for the world, you told him to do penance, to purify the deeds of having caused pain to people during his rule. तदनु मधुराङ्गत्वा हत्वा च मूं यवनाकृदां मगधपतिना मार्गे सैन्यैः पुरेव निवारित चरमविजयं दर्पायास्मै प्रदाय पलायिदो जलधि नगरीं यादो वादालयेश्वर पाहि माम्. After that, going to Mathura, thou destroyed the army brought by the Yavana, while on thy way, like before, the armies of the king of Magadha, that is Jarasandha, obstructed thee. To inflate his pride, you gave him the last, that is 18th victory, by fleeing to the ocean city of Dwaraka. Hare Guruvayurappa, save me. With this sloga, Dasaga 77 we have completed, and now we will listen to Sadi Suresh bhajan song.
Om Namo Narayanaya Shriman Narayanani Shripadame Sharanu. कमलासती मुखकमल कमलहित कमलप्रिया कमलेक्षण कमलासनहित गरुडगमन श्री कमलनाभनि श्रीपादमे शरणु श्रीमन्नारायण श्रीमन्नारायण श्रीमन्नारायणनि श्रीपादमे शरणु.